Welcome back. Today we are not chasing rumors, but asking why some rumors refuse to die. The story of dead Putin sounds absurd, but reveals how authoritarian power works, through myths, legends, and the confusion of truth itself. When people hear the phrase, Putin has been dead for years, most dismiss it as absurd conspiracy theory. It sounds like a joke, another wild tale in the swamp of internet speculation. But the real question is not whether Putin is alive or not. The real question is, why does this myth exist at all? And what does it do to the political imagination of Russia? This is not just a rumor. It is an example of how authoritarian systems manipulate perceptions. Myths like this are not accidents. They are tools. They serve the regime by confusing responsibility, feeding the cult of leadership, and training citizens to live in a world where facts matter less than belief. A conspiracy with deep roots. The idea that Putin is dead and replaced by doubles has circulated for years. It often spikes whenever he disappears from the public eye or looks physically different in appearances. Russian internet forums and Telegram channels thrive on spotting differences in his ears, walk, or facial swelling. But conspiracy theories of this type are not unique. Russia has a long history of the ruler is not the ruler myths. In the 17th century, impostors known as the false Dmitris claimed to be the son of Ivan the Terrible. The public preferred to believe in the survival of a true heir rather than face the chaos of no leadership. The story repeated centuries later. When the Tsar falls, people often say the Tsar was not real. Today, the same psychological need survives. Believing the true Putin is gone allows people to shift blame. Bad things, war, repression, economic crisis, are blamed on others ruling in his name. The real Putin, in this logic, remains the good Tsar, innocent of blood. Why the Kremlin doesn't kill the myth? What is striking is that the Kremlin rarely denies these rumors aggressively. State TV could easily run features proving his health or mocking conspiracy theorists. But they don't. Why? Because the myth is useful. Authoritarian regimes thrive on confusion. When people hear multiple versions of reality, they stop believing in any version at all. This is called strategic ambiguity. If no truth can be verified, then responsibility disappears. Who can you hold accountable if you're not even sure who is in charge? The myth of the dead Putin creates exactly this effect. It makes accountability impossible. It keeps people in a fog where loyalty and faith replace evidence. A myth that strengthens the cult. Paradoxically, instead of weakening Putin's image, the myth often strengthens it. If the leader can die and still continue ruling, he becomes more than human. He becomes a legend, a symbol, a kind of ghost king. This mirrors other dictatorships. Saddam Hussein was said to use doubles. Stalin's sudden disappearances fueled rumors of secret power. Even Hitler had stories of body doubles. In each case, the myth magnified their aura. If the leader is everywhere and nowhere, he is untouchable. For loyalists, this creates comfort. The leader is eternal, always present. For opponents, it creates fear. Even death cannot remove him. Either way, the cult deepens. Psychological comfort in absurdity. Why do people believe in something so absurd? Psychology offers an answer: cognitive dissonance. When reality becomes unbearable, war, poverty, corruption, it is painful to admit that the leader they trusted caused this. To resolve this inner conflict, people invent an explanation. It's not really him. In this way, belief in a dead Putin protects the mind from responsibility. It is easier to believe in a strange story than to accept a harsh truth. And once people accept one absurdity, they are open to others. This is the true danger of such myths. They train citizens to accept nonsense as normal. The Soviet parallel. This mechanism is not new. The Soviet Union was built on its own great myth, the USSR as the land of friendship among nations. Official propaganda insisted all peoples joined voluntarily and lived in harmony. In reality, the Soviet Empire was built with blood, repression, and forced assimilation. Yet even today, Many cling to the myth, challenge it, and they react with anger, as if you insulted a sacred belief. This shows that myths are not just lies. They are emotional anchors. They give meaning and comfort, even if false. The dead Putin story plays the same role. It allows Russians to imagine a pure leader betrayed by evil elites, rather than confront the truth about the man still in the Kremlin. Why this matters beyond Russia? Some may say, who cares? Russians can believe what they want. But the implications are global. Myths like this shield authoritarian leaders from accountability, making them harder to challenge. And they reveal how fragile truth has become in the modern information age. Western societies are not immune. In the U.S., we saw conspiracy theories like QAnon or Stop the Steal spread in similar ways. Absurd at first, but powerful because they replaced facts with faith. Millions preferred to believe in a stolen election than accept political loss. This is why the dead Putin myth matters. It is not about Russia alone. It is a case study of how authoritarian power operates in the 21st century, through manipulation of stories, not just guns. The absurdity and the power. Of course, logically, the idea collapses quickly. Running a nuclear superpower with doubles is impossible. Secrets cannot be hidden for decades in the digital age. The fact that the myth continues shows that its power is not in logic, but in emotion. The absurdity is the point. When people accept something absurd, they give up on demanding proof. They surrender critical thinking. And this is when authoritarian power is safest. Conclusion: the weapon of myth. The myth of a dead Putin is not just a fringe conspiracy. It is an instrument. It helps the Kremlin deflect blame, strengthens the cult, and conditions citizens to accept a world where truth is irrelevant. This is the essence of authoritarianism in our time. Not only to control politics, but to control imagination. When a society accepts that its leader can be both alive and dead at once, it shows how deeply myths have replaced facts. And that is why the story matters far beyond Russia. Because wherever myths replace truth, freedom itself is in danger.